Okay, so apparently I opened up a big conversation about chronic pain the other day, and I wanted to keep some of that conversation going based off on all of the DMs I got from you guys. And there was a few more things that perhaps I wanted to touch on and share and maybe offer a few different points of view, maybe some tips, opinions, all of the things. So, first of all, I had a lot of people reaching out to me saying that it was really brave to, talk about being in chronic pain because there's a lot of professionals, doesn't matter what type of industry you work in, that are always afraid to show any type of vulnerability. So that was a huge conversation I had with many people. And my answer to that is I live what I talk about. Like, you know how people say, be the change that you want to see in the world? That's a really great way to live by, but you actually have to do it. You have to show up vulnerably. You have to rock up authentically. And so that's legitimately what I did, not realizing how many people want to see more of that and maybe are afraid to do so. So on the flip side of that, I actually saw people posting about their journeys because of some of the conversations that I'd had with them in relation to my videos. So shout out to those of you that did that. Good on you. Like, we're all fucking human at the end of the day. We all go through stuff, whether it's traumas, illnesses, ailments, conditions. Like, there's so many different types of horrendous shit that we can go through. And having a human body is not all glamorous. We're gonna experience stuff that's hard and that's tricky. And so my point of sharing was like, I get it, not just from like a book smarts get it, but I get it because I live it. A few things that I wanted to talk about in relation to pain in general. Like, you've probably heard me speak in the past about pain being the pain teacher. It comes along to help connect us to ourselves, because hands up, who, when you're in pain, is like, fucking make this shit stop? I'm one of them. I am one of them. And so with saying that, sometimes sitting with the pain and asking it, what are you here to teach me? And yes, that might sound a little woo-woo, but I do believe on the other side of what we're experiencing, no matter how long that timeline might be, there is something to take away from it. And when you're sitting in the shit, when you're in the trenches of the pain, that's when it's really hard to see. And so maybe having someone hold space for you so you can try and find what the blessing in disguise is, because sometimes that can be really powerful. And I know for me, this time around, when the pain's rocked up, you can choose to show up differently. I chose to speak to some of my close soul sisters about it, and it was beautiful experiences. Funnily enough, people tend to love you more when you're more vulnerable, not the other way around. Just saying. But also, when you share, you connect and you build deeper bonds and deeper trust with people. And so maybe there's people that can hold space for you, whether it's family, friends, a coach, that can hold space for you to try and see what you might be missing, what you might need to learn, what, where, how you could potentially need help. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, the pain teacher, and I get this because I get frustrated with it too. And I have to remind myself of this very thing. And I've talked about it so much to myself and to others just this past fortnight. When something flares up again, like a condition or an ailment or, whatever it is that you've experienced prolonged, you can be like, oh, fucking, we're here again. What now? Why now? And you can get frustrated and annoyed thinking, oh, we're back. That whole 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. I don't think that's the case. I kind of think of it like a spiral staircase. And so if the problem's here and you've started here and then you spiral around and then you come back and you're like, oh, well, I'm here now. And you can look down at a different view. It's happening again, but you've learnt, you've grown, you've evolved. And then maybe you spiral out of it again and all of a sudden like shit's gotten real again. But you're this high now. You've evolved and grown and expanded this much. So the problem's going to be different because you're showing up different because you are different. And then the same again, it keeps spiraling up and up until you don't have to have the problem anymore. That's what I believe. I believe that it's like a spiral staircase, and maybe that there's something from this time, this pain, this experience that's different. What is different? What is different? Because something has to be different because you're different. Like your life's different, your world is different, something is different. So what is it teaching you? What is it showing you? You know, and the thing is, there's such a fear of sharing what you're going through because you can be seen as less than. None of you are less than. Please, please, please remember that. The people that truly love you will never think you're less than. In fact, they'll love you more. And that's the beautiful thing. The right people in our life will always love us. They'll hold space for us. They'll be there for us. And it's the same role reversal. When people share stuff with me, I never think less of them. I never love them any less. So why would it be any different for you too? The final piece that I want to touch on today about chronic pain is I know how debilitating it can be mentally and emotionally, because when you're in chronic pain, sometimes that is all you can think about, the pain, because you can't escape it. And that's fucking hard. So I'm going to call out to those of you that are experiencing chronic pain, that it's relentless, that it's constantly going, because you're not just physically dealing with it, but you're mentally and emotionally dealing with it too. And I really want to urge you to reach out and have support around that, because so many, not just traumas, but so many hard times and challenges and things that we really have to overcome in ourselves can be the ripple effect of what's happened from being in chronic pain. And it does take a huge toll on your mind. It does take a huge toll on your emotions. And so those are just a few things to contemplate and think about. And if it speaks to you in some way and you too want to reach out and connect and talk about chronic pain, please connect with me. I didn't realize I was opening up a can of worms here, but I'm so glad that I did, because if it gives you guys a voice, if it gives you guys, more ways to connect to yourself and to have more help around the different types of traumas that we experience, because pain is a trauma. It really is, and it affects you in so many ways. And so if I can help support you through that, please connect with me, and I will chat with you all again soon.